evening. We've had a relatively nice day today. I have basically we promised Mo a back garden campfire, so we came out and just lit something quickly. My mum would be so annoyed that she didn't get to do it first, but yeah, what the hell. Sorry. I've had a stinking cold kind of chest infection thing for most of this week, so I haven't really been up to much. Bit of smoke should clear the sinuses though, should be okay. The reason I've done this is because I'm receiving tomorrow some new equipment. It's going to be a new hammock and various other bits. I should go into more of it tomorrow when it arrives. But hopefully tomorrow I'll be in this location with my new hammock, be bigger, better fitting for me, some other equipment. I've been here nearly a year, and in that time I have not slept outside once. I used to do it very regularly back in Kent. Used to go out every couple of weeks at least, winter as well. And yeah, and I'd camp out overnight in the woods that Chris and Carol, my in-laws, own, Lou's parents. So yeah, it's something that just hasn't happened, and I've been missing it so much and been needing to do it. So this equipment that's coming is basically going to enable me to go on adventures. I'm having to completely change up my style as well, because I normally access the woodland on the back of a motorbike or with a car or something like that. I only had to walk half a mile to the campsite, that kind of thing. Those that have been there will know what I mean. This is now going to become something completely different for me, because I've got to hike, quite likely. I won't necessarily be able to access it with a motorbike, certainly not with the motorbike that I've got at the moment. The car can definitely get in and out of the Galloway Forest, as you've probably seen from previous videos, but it's not an option for me to take a car up there, because I'll be leaving everybody else without a car. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to probably be dropped off. Hike it, which is something new for me. So I'm trying to work out and obtain the right gear that I can use. You can probably see in the fire, sitting in the fire there, it's like it's not tin, it's an aluminium mug. But it's quite large. You can get quite a big cup of tea out of it, or coffee. You literally just stand it in the fire to heat it. It can then be used as the mug. You could cook up a rehydrated meal or something like that in it. It has many features, many functions, sorry, and the handle's obviously collapsible and that. The main function it seems to have is basically burning your extremities if you try to use it too quickly. Like the handles, the heat transfer is amazing into those. Obviously the lip of the mug is extremely hot. You basically make it and then you stand it to one side and leave it. The option obviously is there to carry another mug with me, which I can pour it into. It just means that I'm not carrying around a large billy tin necessarily. I've also got myself a titanium plate, which can double up as a frying pan. In fact, it most likely will just be used as a frying pan. I've got a new jacket here because I've lost my Swan Dry. As it turns out, this morning I actually found it. 2 weeks ago we spent a lot of money on this Fjällräven jacket for me. It's incredibly good for bushcrafting, and I then go and find the one that I thought I'd lost. So yeah, it's good news and expensive news. So yeah, tomorrow I'll go into it a bit more, show you the equipment, show you what I've got, and then there are plans afoot for me to do a solo journey, quite probably walking quite some distance through the Galloway Forest. I've got some time off coming up in August, which is when I'm planning on doing that. But there may also be another shorter camping trip, solo, using the motorbike, but I'll go into that one in a little more detail at another point in time. Got to see what happens with that plan. Anyway, yeah, that'll be in June. Yeah, first week of June. Right, that is probably boiled now. As you can see, the steam coming off of it. So I'm going to, yeah, I might make a cup of tea out of that actually. I can do with a cup of tea. Yeah, I'm not sure the fire's out. Go inside. Yeah, and yes, I am wearing Crocs. So here's Imogen in her hammock. Inside the hammock pocket we have a wool blanket and a reindeer hide, and Imogen is sleeping in my winter weight sleeping bag, which is good for about -10, or at least it was about 10 years ago, but even so, for now it's very much overkill.
Bouncy, bounce, bounce.
And full of static electricity, as you can see by her hair, which is practically a halo around her head at the moment. You'll be alright there for a few minutes, Mo? Yeah? Enjoying the view?
Yeah.
Enjoying the sounds?
Yeah.
Cool. Alright.
It's not very high.
It's not very high. I didn't want it too high off the ground in case you fell out.
Yeah.
It's a good idea, isn't it?
Yeah.
Alright. Evening. Right, I have a slightly overexcited child over there in her hammock. Trying to keep a close eye on her. She's behind the camera so I can see her all the time. What I'm trying to do here, I'm unboxing. Be careful! Lay down if you can. This parcel came from DD Hammocks today. It's basically a whole load of new equipment. No, I'm not coming up to rock you, Mo. I'm filming now. I'm just doing my bit to the camera. DD Hammocks are based in Edinburgh, which makes them practically local. Ish. Be very careful because this knife is more than sharp enough to destroy everything that's inside here at the same time as opening it. Probably isn't the best solution. I'm being extremely careful. Now there's various items in here and I'll run through them as I bring them out. But the idea is, as I was saying in the previous video, this is to allow me to get out and do what I promised myself I would do this summer, or any summer, or even part of the winter at least. I will get out and I will do things in the outdoors. I'm taking videos of what I'm doing it, improving my bushcrafting skill as I go, learning from others, learning a lot from other YouTube bushcrafters. Certainly some in colder climates as well, because they're not too far off of the kind of conditions that we get here in the winter, but they don't necessarily use hammocks. I'm using a hammock because if you lay on the ground in this part of the world you could drown. Yeah, it rains that hard that you could drown overnight. So the first thing that's come out actually is the primary part of it all. It is the DD XL Frontline hammock. There are plenty of reviews, people telling you all about it and stuff like that. I'm not really going to do a review video of this gear as such, because there are loads of people who have done it. There's not much point. If you want to see a review on this, look up various other people that have done it, and all you have to do is YouTube and type in Frontline hammock. I got the XL on advice from DD themselves. I sent them an email and they said, yeah, it sounds like we need the bigger one. Typical, really, and of course it costs more. But that's the primary part of it. Slung underneath that, there's something else that you can add to it, is the under blanket. And the under blanket is, as it sounds, it's a blanket that strings underneath the hammock. Now you might think, why would I want one underneath the hammock? If you're laying on the ground, if you're laying in your hammock or whatever, any insulation you put between yourself and what you're laying on will be compressed. That means that any air pockets that are trapped in it, because that's how they generally work, you warm up air pockets inside the insulation using your own body heat. If they cool down because they're compressed, then they are useless. It's pointless. Even a wool blanket could be compressed enough to provide very little thermal insulation. So unless you've got a raging fire going close enough to you, which isn't a great idea, you're going to get cold. As simple as that, unless you've got some other hot heat source. But if it isn't compressed, it will work. So you hang the blanket underneath. And it hangs loose enough that when you lay on it, you just got a very small gap, and then the loft inside the material provides the heat. So they send a few other bits and pieces with it as well. Now, the other thing that I had to upgrade to being an XL as well is the tarp that's going to go over the top of the hammock. This is the bit that's going to keep the wind and the rain off of me, primarily. So this hammock is 3 meters long. They do a standard 3x3 hammock, so that isn't long enough to cover the hammock. I need a 4.5x3, so that I can lay lengthwise underneath it. That's what this is. It's all in olive green as well, by the way. Hello, my dear. You're on your way out?
Yeah, I will see you later.
Okay.
Daughter's having fun.
I know, I can see. She's nearly got the sleeping bag all the way out.
Yeah, nearly.
I'll look at the other piece that they sent. Right, okay. Right, there's a few other bits and bobs. I mean, these are the 3 primary parts that I wanted, more than anything. Decent sized hammock, under blanket, and decent sized tarp. That's going to be huge. So there are a few other bits that they send with it. A mesh hammock. I didn't really understand this to start off with, so I had to look it up on their website. This is supposed to keep your gear off the ground. It's not designed for sleeping in or anything like that. It's I don't think it's actually rated to hold the weight of a human being on a very regular basis. It's literally just mesh. The idea is that you sling it underneath your hammock and put your gear in it and keep it up off the ground. And again, going back to the point that I made, if you're trying to sleep on the ground in this part of the country, you will drown. So will your gear. So if that's up off the ground by at least 3 or 4 inches, it's also the point they made on the video on the website, is that you can reach it. It's slung underneath you, so if it's at the right height, you can reach down and get to your gear. You know, find something in your backpack or find a torch or whatever. Really, really handy. Now, it does come with a little first aid kit as well, which was part of the package. A water bladder, which is going to be useful because I don't actually currently own one of these. Lengths of cordage, 25 metres of, which I believe needs to go onto the tarp because there is none with it, so they send some out with it. Yeah, 10 little carabiner clips, which is quite useful. A whistle with a little compass on it. Well, I've got emergency whistles, I believe, in various different places, but oh, it's actually also got a temperature gauge on it. I'll have to see how accurate that is tonight then, actually. Could be useful to have around. The temperature tonight is expected to go down to about 1 degrees, so I could wake up tomorrow morning and find a frost on the ground. Right, apologies, I have been suffering the last week with a cold. It is clearing up, I'm getting my strength back, I'm getting my breath back. I am okay to sleep out tonight, and I do intend to be warmer, so don't worry about that. So the rating of the under blanket is -5. I have a sleeping bag, its comfort rating, it's new to me, the sleeping bag's comfort rating is 2 degrees Celsius. So with the 2 of them, and possibly to hand if I need it, a wool blanket, I should be warm enough. Now the idea is that tonight is supposed to be an experiment to find out if that is the case. Something like
No.
What's it over here?
Oh.
Oh. What that was there. Give me that back, I'm about to talk about that.
Hey.
Right, so I've just got to sort out Amy's hammock and stuff, but got my little helper here now. Now, just a couple of little things left in here. Other thing they send is something called a magic carpet. This is like a small tarp. You can use it as an emergency shelter. It's something you can have to hand at the top of your pack. You can see it's really small. You can even put it in your pocket. With a couple of bits of paracord pre-tied onto it. You could easily set this up against a tree or something and shelter from extreme sudden onsets of rain, which happen frequently in this area. Please leave the table. Thank you. So a couple of other little bits that they put in there. There's a hanging pocket. You can put that up inside the hammock and you can use it to put a few bits and pieces of gear in, like say a whistle, first aid kit, that kind of thing. And they also have a beer holder. Don't ask me why.
Whistle,
Yeah.
whistle. I want to have a look at the whistle.
I'm sure you want to have a look at the whistle. I really shouldn't have mentioned the whistle, should I? Right. One last bit. I should give the child the whistle. Now, you can look at it, but I do not want you to blow it yet, okay?
Okay.
There you go. Last little bit is the hammock sleeve, sometimes called a snakeskin. The idea of this is that when you've got your hammock set up, I don't know how to describe it. You kind of thread the hammock through it, so as that it's a sleeve that goes over it, and then you can just kind of pack the hammock away in it. It's a good way of setting up the hammock without actually opening up the hammock. The idea is that some of these things, like the mozzie net, for instance, is built into the actual hammock. It's part of it. When you're trying to set up the hammock, anything like the mozzie net, it's going to catch on all kinds of things. If there's any kind of thin weeds, dead grass, anything like that, it's going to catch on it all the time. This will protect it. And all you do is you just slide it off of the hammock bit and just push it to one end of your webbing that you
Dad.
string it up to the trees with. Yes, Mo?
Why can you boil it?
Well, because it's going to be very, very loud, and I'm trying to talk to the camera, and the camera can't hear me because you're blowing the whistle, because it is very loud.
Only
Right.
far, far, far away.
No, just give me a moment before you blow it, alright? I will let you blow it, only once, okay? Right. So, the next thing I've got to do is just basically try and set all this up. Figure out how I'm going to cover Mo's hammock and my hammock, etc. with it. Get a fire going and cook my food. Now,
Marshmallows.
and marshmallows. Well, it's getting a little bit late for you.
Aww.
Yeah. But yes, that's, as I say, is the idea. Oh, that's not running my eye. Hay fever. I've had a stinking cold, I haven't been able to take the antihistamines.
Dad, look.
Here's me, I want to be outside and I'm allergic to it. In the air I'm
Huh?
breathing. Well, yeah. Good job I love this child. Right, are you ready to blow that whistle? Only once, remember? I didn't get that on camera, but the failed attempt to blow the whistle, she put it in her mouth the wrong way around. Did you blow it? No? Yeah. I'll show you. Right, nice. Right, yeah. That's it. So you've had your one go. That was once. Yeah? Awesome. Cheers. Right, part of what I've done here as well is this backpack I've got on. It's a pack I was intending to use to go out camping with. It's completely waterproof. It can be used on a motorbike. In fact, yeah, really. Its purpose was actually intention for the motorbike when I first got this pack. I've put most of what we received in that parcel in here, and it doesn't fit. I still haven't got a water bottle in there. This is my possibles pouch. It's got various little odds and ends and stuff. This would technically be on my belt. It's something I made a long time ago. Needs a little bit of repair work. But yeah, there's a few items and stuff in there for fire lighting and things like that. I've obviously got my fire steel, my knife, and my belt. The holder for the fire steel. The steel isn't really to purpose. It's one that I made for a different holster, but I intend to get another fire steel. The holster was actually made by a friend of mine who I went bushcrafting with back in Kent. So yeah, if you're watching, you know who you are. Thank you. It is going to get put to use this summer, don't you worry. So I've ascertained now that this bag, it's a 40 litre bag. I didn't unpack anything from its original containers. I compressed a couple of things that had compression straps that weren't compressed. As you can see, it is stuffed full. There's cooking kit in here as well. It don't fit. But then, part of the idea with this as well, and it doesn't, maybe it needs a bit more practice getting it in there, but I was trying to prioritise it so that when I opened it, the first thing I get out is my hammock. You know, that would make sense, wouldn't it, really? I have got some more wet bags, or dry bags, that are made by the same company, Lomo. I love these guys. They make bags that work, cheap, affordable. They make them specifically for motorbikers as well as backpackers and things like that. They've won all kinds of awards for their stuff. Largely because when they say it's waterproof, it is waterproof. No two ways about it. They do a 60 litre version of this, but they don't have any axe hanging points on it. That's what these are, and that's the main reason why I wanted to use this bag, because I can actually attach my axe to the outside of it. But their 60 litre one doesn't have this. It's not very expensive though. So I'm tossing up between getting something that has molle and stuff on it, or getting a 60 litre bag and put it all in. I'll have to decide and make a decision at some point. So the first thing I've got to do is set up the hammock. It's not going to have any paracord on it. There's 25 metres here. I'll be sleeping between that tree and that tree there, so between this cherry and this birch. Hello, don't put your finger through the hole in that mesh.
No.
What? Oh, he's poking it. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, oh yeah. So I'll get this, I'll try and get this stuff set up. I'm trying to deal with her. She's getting overtired. I'm running out of light and I haven't eaten anything yet. So I might just abandon this at some point and just put it all up and deal with it later. Yes, Mo? Try and bounce around it then. I might just get her to bed. She wants to sleep out here desperately with me. That's why that's there. Just have to see what happens. I might make it, I might not. Right, Lily. I should have known better. The hank that this was in, oh Jesus, the hank that this was in is just instantly turned into a knot the second I tried to do anything with it. And I've just remembered there's certain points on this hammock that this can thread through to make life easier. My daughter's gone off to sulk now. This isn't going to happen. Sorry, Lou's gone out to her choir practice. This is the only day off I'm going to get. So I wanted a chance to do this. It's been my problem all along because of my work hours. I don't get 2 days off in a row. So if I want to do something, I've got to do it fast, I've got to do it now, I've got to do it immediately, or else it won't get done. I only get 1 day during the week, and that's tomorrow. I can't camp out tomorrow night because I have to go to work on Wednesday morning. Otherwise, the next night that I can camp out is going to be Saturday night. I've got to wait, I want to get this stuff sorted so that I can just. I'm determined not to have a bitch. Determined not to bitch about this and try and cope. But I've just told Emmy that she's not going to go and get she can't go and get the marshmallows, so she's gone off to find the marshmallows and a salt. I can't handle doing 5 things at once. I'm just going to have to go and get her to bed and then come out and do this. Quite probably after dark, which is not really what I wanted to do. So you probably can't see very much of what's going on at the moment, but well, she seems to be impressed with tarpaulin. There's lots of tie-down points on it.
Yeah.
She likes it. What I'll do is these 2 end ones that are up here, you won't be able to see them in shot. But when I de-rig this, I'm not going to loop the main ridge line through it. Well, the tensioning system I've worked out, and I will take them out of the main loop. I'm going to have to start getting a fire going soon because the mozzies are starting to come in a bit close. So this is the tarpaulin set up. I'll get the hammock set up and I'll show you that in a mo. What do you need, Emmy?
Where did you put the camera?
The camera is outside filming us. Oh, two different ends. I wonder they weren't even. That's it. Now you keep out of the wind, you keep warm. Before I string this up, I want to put snake skin on it. I found it. So it's a long sleeve, it's open at both ends. And I have to feed this through it. See, this is what I want to do is set up now. See how well this works. Well, that will expand really well. There are tears, mainly mine. Well, I'm kidding. She just got very overtired. She insisted that she wanted to be inside my hammock. Cut a long story short, it just didn't end well, so basically she's gone back inside. Didn't really want to end it that way, but she doesn't have very much in the way of patience at the moment. She's only 4, just turned 4, so she's still learning. As you can see by the jacket, the temperature has dropped dramatically now the sun has gone down. The little whistle with the monitor that we had earlier, that was registering 10 degrees. I don't know if the camera can see that, but it's in my breath, so I'd be inclined to agree with that. Stop seeing it in the dark. I've got the floodlight out so that I can be seen by the camera. I'm going to get the fire lit, I'm going to get some food on. It's gone 9 o'clock. Lou came back with a little gift for me. Book to read. There's some out here. Very nice. Hopefully I get a chance to do that. I shall put that in a little pocket above the bed. Yeah, I was quite surprised. They send you a pocket that goes in there, but there's one already in there. So I've got 2. I'm not going to complain. It could be quite useful. I might rig both of them up in there. It's like a good idea to me. Yeah, anyway, let's get some food on the go and see if we can get this fire going. This in itself is a good test for me. Can I light a fire whilst I'm grumpy and hungry? Am I thinking straight enough to be able to do it? I can actually see enough to be able to do it is the other problem. I'll have to turn this on. Hello, Zach. getting to the conclusion the answer is no. I'm really not coping very well with being hungry. But it's a lesson I've got to learn. There we go, see, I knew I'd get there in the end. Hi, Zach. Hello, boy. Right. Trying to find some suitable logs. You're in the shop, mate. Yes, you are. Do you want to move around out the way, dog? No, you're not getting a log. Out the way. Just what I need right now, another annoyance. Yeah, that's you, mate, an annoyance. The way I've lit this fire, the way I'll try and construct this fire, you can actually control the flow of air to it quite well. Putting these logs around the outside of it. And the idea is actually, eventually, the logs are the only thing that's going to be burning. There'll be a hot bed of embers in the middle there, and I'll be able to bring the logs together. The pan will stand on it. You can see there's no wind tonight, the smoke's just going straight up. Right. Water. Fire's about ready to start cooking on. Got some good heat here. Oh, sort myself out on here. I'm starting to get too warm being close to this wearing all this gear. This jacket is very good. Well, yep, according to the instructions on this, you boil it. Right, place unopened pouch in boiling water on a suitable camping stove. Heat for 7 to 8 minutes, drain away water and allow to cool for 1 minute. Eat contents from pouch directly or decant to a suitable bowl. So I need to get the water boiling. As soon as I do that, all the light goes, doesn't it? Thought what I'd try and do here is give you a better look at how I'm cooking. Literally, I've just put logs together, 5 logs in a star shape. There's virtually no wind tonight. There's very little air movement. But after lighting the fire with the initial kindling, all I've had to do is put these 5 logs together like this, and that's all that I've cooked with. It boiled a litre of water in about 5 minutes. It's a very quick way of doing things. Okay, I'd have to harvest it and stuff like that out in the wild. I'd have to prep the wood and things like that, but really chopping down a standing dead wood, putting it chopping a bit off like this and then splitting it, how long is that going to take you? And how much wood do you really want to gather? Now, fair enough, it doesn't produce a lot of heat over a wide area. Yes, I'm getting heat. It's not a huge amount, but you can always expand the fire later once you've cooked on it. Because the important thing is, if once you've got food inside your stomach, you're producing your own warmth. This really can't be all that far off of being finished. Another good bonus of a fire like this, apart from the reduced amount of smoke, pan lid stays cold, pan handle stays cold. Look at that, no issue. Don't burn another big spot on the lawn. Yeah, stand that there. It's cold enough to handle as well. Alright. Because my floodlight died, I've turned on the external light on the shed. maybe going to have to try and figure out a way of filming in the dark. If I'm to take you guys with me on an excursion. Oh yeah, there's lots of heat coming out of there, so that's good. Yep, crispy bit on the lawn there. Leave that. Rubbish thing if I can find it. Pick up the spork. Try to drop the food. Base open up a bit more. No, it doesn't. Stand here and hold the corner of it. So, beans and burgers. Oh. Yep. This is exactly how I remember it when it came out of the tin when I was in the Scouts. It's at the Heinz, if I'm allowed to say that. Get beans and burgers or sausage and beans and stuff like that in the tins, and we used to cook them on our mesh tin. I never really held with the idea of using boil in the bag stuff before, because it's always been horrific, but I think these days food technology has moved on enough that it's not that unreasonable. Can't be any worse than a can of baked beans, really. I am quite pleasantly surprised by this. It's quite nice, actually. And it's still bloody hot. Wow, look at the size of that burger. I wonder if you can see the size of that burger. If that helps at all. Oh, a little bit of smoke coming off a bit now. Yeah, that's huge. Oh, a few left in there too. Ooh. Yay! My cup of tea is ready. That is why I brought the trusty Trangier handle. Wahahaha. Burn a bit of the garden there instead. Alright. The ends together. See, I don't want a huge fire here in the garden. I am quite concerned about complaints of smoke and things like that. Nobody's really all that close to us, so I think it's going to be a problem. A sufficient balanced meal, it says. Well, she's 6'3" and weighs 16 stone. And then it's barely enough. So, I'll eat 2 of these. A bit more in that corner. I suppose it'll be about £9 a meal. Sounds going out, isn't it? To be fair though, if I had cooked up some bread or something like that as well, that would have been a better meal. Put some bread with it. There's a tea bag. Oh, God, my nose. Just needed a bit more. Like I say, those beans and burgers weren't quite enough. So I've got some, the end of a bit of cheese and a bit of chorizo sausage that's left over. Which I think I'll sit here and devour before retiring. Alright, lights on. Yeah, apologies before. I did not realise that the angle of the camera was only getting me from about the nose downwards. I'm currently presuming that it's a better angle. Wow. I really can't sit cross-legged for much longer. I'll have to go and sit in the hammock. Read in there. Where'd that go? 2 seconds more. It's good chorizo sausage. Farmers Market in Carlisle. A month ago, where? Beginning of the month. There's well, it wasn't a farmers market, it was like a European food market. And a guy there selling 5 sausages, which included one of these chorizos, for like a tenner. I bought the offer, gave some to my dad for his birthday because he loves stuff like this, he loves food. It was chorizo. Yeah, good stuff. Apologies for chewing with my mouth open. It's mainly because I can't breathe through my nose. Right, it's the following morning, it's Tuesday morning. I didn't feel that I'd slept all that well, but when I checked my motion tracker thing, it also tracks my sleep, things like that. So it says that I got a pretty solid night's sleep, which is probably why I felt awful when I woke up. You know how that is, you know, you're not used to sleeping all that well, which I don't tend to these days, I don't sleep all that well, and yeah, I slept very well last night by the looks of things. It wasn't very warm. Turns out it got to -1. Yeah. Not that there was any evidence of a frost, because by the time I actually woke up, it was about 4 or 5 degrees above. The sun was shining. You know, if I got up maybe about 2 o'clock in the morning, I might have seen evidence of a frost. It was alarming how quickly the temperature came up, because by about 9 o'clock we were over 9 degrees Celsius. So in the space of about 6-7 hours, the temperature has gone from -1 to nearly 9-10 degrees. Yeah, so it's amazing what the sun can do, isn't it? I pulled my coat over me overnight, just use that as an extra blanket, because bizarrely I was getting cold coming down from above instead of from below. This under blanket I've got on here does a very good job, it appears. So yeah, I was suitably impressed by that. Might need to work on how the hammock is rigged. I suspect that it has a certain amount of settling in. The material stretches a little bit. So yeah, I found that I was coming down a lot lower in the night and ending up in the bottom bit. But I could sleep on my back, on my side, I could move around freely. It's something I couldn't do in a smaller hammock before, so yeah, I was quite happy about that. So I'm going to try and break this all down and put it away as best as I can. Get it back into its bags. Then I'm going to go to Keswick and have a scout around some of the outdoor shops, see if there's any other gadgets or devices or things that would make camping a little bit easier. Pick up some more of this Wayfarer food, because it would appear that one is not enough if I don't have anything else to eat. So yeah, if I'm going for an overnight, I probably need at least 2. Yeah, especially if I'm walking and things like that, that's not enough food for me. So yeah, I've got to find things that I can carry. Potentially as well, look for a bigger rucksack at the right price. See how it goes. Just wanted to show you a couple of things. First one is this is the hammock sleeve. As you can see, it's now been moved down off of the webbing and actually covers the hammock. I'm hoping that this shows you a bit better in my description, because I was struggling to describe how it works. But yeah, you slide it down over the hammock like this and you get a sleeve. So now when I come to take it out, it's all totally protected. It isn't loose material hanging around. It can't get snagged on anything. You put it up, you set your tension, then you slide that off. Keep it well away from anything that could damage it. And this is the other thing I was going to show you. So I've put a carabiner clip through the loop on the canvas on the tarp. I've tied a slip knot to it here. So you see, even in this wind, it's holding in the right place. That's to adjust the tension of it. There's one at the other end as well. But on two of them on the in between. Right, I'll try and describe this a bit better. There's 5 of these loops along the centre of the tarpaulin. 4 of them have carabiner clips on there now. The 2 end ones have tensioners made out of paracord that allow me to tension it and get it right and centre the tarp as needed. These 2 are here literally just to release it from the ridge line. The intention being that your ridge line's always going to go through the centre. Nigh on always. It's going to go through the centre of the tarpaulin. If I wanted to change the configuration of this to make it a diamond shape, all I have to do is unclip it at the carabiner clips, there and there, and then rotate it and string it up as required. That's the intention. So that's why I've done that way. Again, making deploying of the tarpaulin and making the shelter a lot quicker and easier. If I find I need to change something, I can just do it. There's no having to take the ridge line back down or anything like that. Yeah, the wind's starting to pick up, so I'm hoping the camera can hear me from there. The other intention with doing it this way with the ridge line, maybe mentioned earlier that I wanted to be able to put this into a wet or dry bag. If it rains overnight, I don't want to put this into the same bag that all my dry clothing's in. So the idea is that you stuff this into a dry bag, and then that goes in the top of your backpack. So if you can gather it into the middle like this, you can then stuff it into a bag. I really don't think it's going to go back into its original bag using this method. I'm going to give it a try. But I have already ordered the dry bags. In fact, hopefully they're arriving today. I'll find out. But I need to pack this away because it is due to rain this afternoon. So I'm going to pack it into here. The ridge line, everything goes into the bag as well. That's the intention. And then when you come to deploy it, you basically just need to pull the ridge line out, attach it either end. You've still got the bag kind of thing attached like that, and then you can just drop it out. It also keeps it up off the ground, keeps it out of any water, away from the brambles, anything that could tear it. Similar kind of principle to the hammock sleeve that we saw earlier. You're trying to protect your gear and keep it where you need it to be instead of blowing around the campsite, getting caught on brambles and stuff like that. Because that's the thing, it could be lashing with rain and blowing a howling gale. You need to erect a shelter. You do not need 9 square metres of tarpaulin flapping around like a sail. What do you know? I should almost film doing that. So yeah, as you see, that's the idea. The tarp is now in there. If this was a dry bag, the ridge line can be just pulled out the top, put up between 2 trees. Pull that down off of there and stretch it out and start pegging. I've already got guy lines or paracord and everything attached to it. It's just basically ready to go. You can deploy faster this way.